I was really concerned about today's game because it's our 9th straight day of going at it, and us kind of being somewhat young and dealing with some of the head colds and just some of the inconsistencies with our health and coming off a loss, that we'd have some guys that would kind of act like the moment's a little too difficult. But that's why those 3 seniors and Chris Silva, they were phenomenal the last 2 days. They brought unbelievable enthusiasm. They actually got Mike Kotsar going. And we weren't great defensively today. We were just good enough. But offensively, we played extremely intelligent, and we passed and screened, and we got in the open court some. And then at the end of the day, you know, guys were open, they jumped up, ball went in the net. And when that happens, it makes you a better offensive team.
Frank, 15 threes. Auburn has had its issues defending the 3 this year. Was that going to be a focus of the game plan, or are we just saying just work for open shots, and if they happen to be from 3, they're from 3?
We just tried to run our offense and attack them the ways we spoke about trying to attack them. And, you know, we got guys on our team that have made shots for us in the past and will continue to make shots. Obviously, what helped us a lot, Dave, was we got in the open court. You know, we didn't make it a half-court game. And but, you know, we made some open threes early, and they missed some early ones because I'm just telling you, defensively today we were just but they put pressure on your defense the way they play. Our game plan is always to get to the foul line, not to shoot threes. Get to the foul line. That means that we have to attack the rim. And then as you collapse the defense and start making the next pass, and then we can shoot step-in threes, not off-the-dribble threes. And I thought we did that today.
Frank, could you elaborate a little on your leaders taking it upon themselves, knowing the importance of bouncing back from a loss, and you not having to, talk about it as much yourself?
Yeah, it's that's what it's all about. That's what it's all. You know, I had a fan come up to me, and ask me. He said, "Coach, I love the team, but I'm really getting tired of watching Dwayne Notice miss shots. When are you going to start playing someone else?" And those are the moments that you feel like saying something, but if you do, then I'll get called into the principal's office, and and I don't need that in my life. So I just smiled and thought to myself, like, Jesus, and when you got guys like Dwayne, Sindarius, Justin Mackey, those kids have been through it now. They came here and they didn't win when they first got here. We didn't win when they first got here. And we started growing. And then last year, I grabbed those guys as they were coming out of the Kentucky game before the game ended. I grabbed them and I said, "Hey, man, it's over. Remember, last year we lost to Kentucky and we came in and had crazy practices because you guys were pouting, and it cost us the next game too, which was at Missouri. They handled the moment a lot better than we did last year. They understood, and when you have guys that lead from within the locker room, it's a lot easier than when coaches are in there trying to figure out how to lead. Good teams usually don't win if coaches are trying to lead. Coaches teach players how to lead, and then it's up to the players to take ownership, and then they got to do it. And then that's when you start having a good basketball team. And we're not there yet, but, heck, we're a lot closer than we were 3 years ago.
How difficult is it for opponents to prepare and practice and simulate what y'all do defensively?
Yeah, it's hard. We play different than probably anyone in the country. There's not too many people play the style. It's like back in the day, Pete Carrill and the Princeton offense. They did it through their offense. You're not used to playing against it. It's a problem because no one else played like Princeton. So you didn't get repetitions. In practice, you don't get what you needed. Well, defensively, that's kind of our deal. we're different than, you say West Virginia or whatever, but they play differently than us. They trap and run all over the place and just play with unbelievable energy. We don't do all that running around and trapping. We try to force people to not pass. I say this when I speak in coaching clinics all over the country. I say I've never heard a coach call a timeout to tell a player that he needs to dribble more. He calls timeouts and he tells his players, stop dribbling and pass the ball. Well, defensively, I'm not real smart, but, I kind of try to pay attention to stuff. So if offensively, I want people to pass. Defensively, I want you to dribble, and that's kind of the theory and the mindset behind it. And, we've had guys that have gotten pretty good at our defensive concepts. And it's got to be hard for a team that practices certain offenses, and it works against 99% of the teams, and then they play us and they can't run that offense. It's I got to think it's pretty frustrating.
PJ played tonight, got into some foul trouble. How was he health-wise?
I just needed to put him on the court. He wanted to play. He's good. There's nothing structurally wrong, but he hasn't bounced the ball since. He hasn't ran a wind sprint or bounced. I shouldn't say hasn't bounced the ball. He got into practice yesterday and did some 5-on-0 offensive stuff, but nothing competitive. But it's been 5 days, and so. But he wanted to play, and he's earned that opportunity when he says he can go, and he tried. He played. Then when he came out because of fouls, then he kind of stiffened back up. I didn't want to put him back in the second half, but he answered the bell. He didn't do anything great, but he went out there and gave us what we needed to shrink the game so we can get to the finish line.
Frank, you mentioned the Missouri game last year, and some of the guys talked about it too. How much going into that game do you mention what happened last year, especially prepping for the next game?
I made mention of it, but I only really addressed it with the 3 seniors. I don't dwell a lot on the past, but I believe that every once in a while you have to refresh people's memories so they comprehend, and that's what I tried to do. The 3 seniors, I sat down with them and we spoke about some things, and that was one of the things I spoke to them about. That last year, the season at the end. When they said we didn't win enough games, that wasn't true. It's the phoniness of the numbers, the analytics. That's all the smart people. They work with computers and analytics. It's the analytics that made it look like we didn't belong. Well, what skewed our numbers in the wrong way, it's not that we beat teams that didn't have good years, is that we lost to a team that had a bad RPI. And that's what messed us up. And so we had to I had to make sure I made those guys comprehend that we got to figure out a way to be positive the last 2 days so we can play well today. And bless their hearts, they were troopers today, those 3 seniors.
Frank, did you see anything different in Dwayne's demeanor on offense today compared to games past?
No. He got a little more. Teams don't let Dwayne get open. Okay, they stay with him. So he's only getting 3 licks a game. Hard to be a shooter, only get 3 shots a game and be a real good shooter. I had to do a better job of doing things to create space for him. And then our players have to do a better job of understanding those things. Like in the first half, he made his first one. I ran a play right away for him again. Well, the guy that was with the ball thought the play was for him, and he took a shot and never let it get through Dwayne. That's a problem. And then when John Sunvold, who did the game, and I were talking about this as shoot-around, because John was a great shooter. When you're only getting 3 licks a game, and all of a sudden you go 0 for 3, 0 for 3, 1 for 3, people looking at your percentage say, what's wrong with him? So everyone starts talking slump. And the poor kid, now he starts thinking, holy cow, I'm not making. It happens. People that shoot, they're going to go stretches where they go 1 for 10 or whatever, 1 for 12. It's just going to happen. The great shooters go through it. I think we did a better job today of executing stuff to create some space for him. And then he saw that first one go in the net. That with Dwayne, that's usually a good sign because he works at it so hard. He spends countless time in the gym shooting balls because he wants to make shots. He knows that's something he needs to do to help us, and he's got pride. And when he saw the first one go in the net, I think it just kind of, made him relax a little bit. That first one for him is important.
Frank, how does Austin Wiley kind of change what Auburn is?
Oh, my God.
First double-double of his career tonight.
Holy cow. Ooh, can he declare?
No, actually no.
No? That's a problem. I just told him after the game, I told all their players, I think they've got a real good team. And he's going to be real. He is real good. It's scary how good he can get. Let's not forget that 6 weeks ago, he was probably walking down the hallway of a school. Now he's actually on the court competing at the highest level of college basketball. And so he's trying to learn stuff that some guys have been practicing for 3 and 4 months. He's good. Great hands, great footwork, great demeanor, has a desire for the ball, doesn't stand and wait for it. He goes to get it, doesn't shy away from contact. He's good. The SEC's got a problem dealing with him, actually with all their freshmen moving forward here. They've got a great group of guys. Thank you.